All right, we're going to talk about Kickstarter. Kickstarter back in the news again for good reason, because they keep doing stupid stuff. So, little recap. Last year, there was a book called Jawbreakers. Might have heard of it. Did pretty well. There's a sequel to it on Indiegogo, Jawbreakers God King. Check it out. Now, that book was going to originally be on Kickstarter, in case you didn't know, and it got denied because of the author, Richard Meyer, who has been through a lot in the past year. Could do a whole video on that, but most of you probably already know the story. So, short story, TLDR, he tried to put it over on Kickstarter. They denied it. Said it was a book of hate. I don't know how many of you have read Jawbreakers, but there's no hate in that book. It's because of how he leans politically, and the fact that the comic industry didn't like him, so the NPCs denied him their platform. Mike S. Miller here tried to do it again with his book. Was going to do a second printing of Lonestar #1, and they denied him for the same reason. Now, I find it funny because they've got some pretty heavy political comic books on their platform. Guess what? They get to stay over there. It's only a certain type of thinker that gets denied off of the Kickstarter platform. As we now have more evidence of that, let's go ahead and go through it because he released the statements themselves. So here we go. We go to his Twitter here, and we see, "Hi, Mike. Thanks for sharing your project with us. We've carefully reviewed it against our rules, and we're unable to approve it to launch. As a public benefit corporation committed to fighting inequality and creating a more equitable world, Kickstarter does not allow discrimination, subjugation, or intolerance towards marginalized groups. We recommend you review our rules and list of prohibited items to learn more. This decision is non-negotiable. We appreciate your understanding." Now, somebody asked him, do you have any more correspondence of this? And he indeed did. So here's that. Somebody asked him, Data Racer, good guy there, Data Racer 117, if you're looking for good Star Wars news. Here it is. "Hi, Mike. Thanks for sharing your project with us. Everything's looking good. We can't wait to see it go live. Before you launch, here are some last-minute tips and recommendations to boost your chances of success." And they tell him to create a solid promotional plan and stuff like that. They were indeed talking to him. Here's another one. "Thanks for sharing your project with us. We appreciate your interest in creating something with and for the Kickstarter community. However, after careful review, we've determined your project cannot be approved for launch." And then the other one was this one that you got here. I'm guessing that came when he asked for more information. So the reason for this is because in the comic, the Lonestar character fights, MS-13, which is not a good group if you know who they are. And that's, I guess, the primary reason they're trying to label him as a person of hate, which is ironic considering he's Japanese. But because of that, he is not allowed to launch on Kickstarter. So, this isn't the first time they've done this. They've done it before, and I could have told you this would have been the result. But it's good to highlight because no one will talk about this in the media. They'll just sweep it under the rug. It's the same reason that, you don't see a CBR or a comicbook.com article talking about how Earthworm Jim made almost $1 million, or Cyberfrog as a whole made about $800 and something thousand. You don't see articles on that because they don't want you to know those books have been successful. They're pretty much blacklisted. So this won't get any coverage. But one of the reasons he wanted to do this, he says, is because, well, it's a whole other market, which, I mean, it makes sense, right? That you would want to get a whole other market if possible. But they're just not going to let you do that. This is why anybody involved in like Comicsgate takes their projects over to Indiegogo, because Indiegogo seems to want to make money. Now, I don't know the differences between the two, but if I make a comic, I'm going to take it to Indiegogo because they seem to support free speech, I guess, whereas Kickstarter does not. And that's been pretty clear. They're swayed by political opinions and the Twitter mob, because it was, I guarantee you, probably the Twitter mob that contacted Kickstarter and said, hey, you can't have this book on there. This guy's, he's a member of Comicsgate, or was. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been paying attention. As far as anything between me and Mike, we've hashed things out in DMs. Me and him are all right, in my opinion. And I think it's wrong that you can't just go put your comic up on there, just like it was wrong when they did it to Richard Meyer last year. This is why I don't support Kickstarter, and this is why I never will support anything on that platform, because of stuff like this. They obviously don't like money, so I'm not going to give them any of mine. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Short video. Give me a share if you would. Make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.